Hey, job seekers. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that was actually recommended by one of you for me to cover about in regards for imposter syndrome with job seekers. Now, if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, you've probably felt it and just don't know it, especially in your job search, which can be incredibly soul crushing if you let it. So the imposter syndrome is when you don't feel worthy. You don't feel worthy that, oh, I can't do this job because I don't have those skills, or there's people that are out there that are better than me, or, oh, what if they find out that I'm only intermediate level in this skill and they really want advanced? It's all those feelings and thoughts that go through your head of you feeling unworthy. I want to talk a little bit today about where some of that comes from. And then I also want to talk about ways that you can actually use skills that you'll walk away after this video, which will help you deal with your imposter syndrome. All right, let's cover what are some of the common things that you see with somebody who is experiencing this imposter syndrome. One of the biggest is what I call fear of flying or fear of failure. And that is somebody going to find out that I just don't really know what I'm doing, or I'm not as good as I think I could be? And a lot of that ties to some individuals having this perceived ability that they have to be perfect in everything, and that learning things as you go is not okay. They have to have all the knowledge at one point in time, which is unrealistic. It is completely unrealistic in the world that you live in, not only in your work world, but in your personal world. It's okay to fail, and it's okay to walk into a situation, try something new, and you may not fail. But that fear is what's stopping you and giving you that imposter syndrome that I'm just not worthy to do this. Another thing that we see is people who have this imposter syndrome, they constantly are discounting praise by others. So people are saying, wow, you did a really great job on your resume. You did a really great job in this interview. Oh, well, I could have done better in this question, or maybe I should word this different. It's that constant questioning of what you're doing and what you're saying that is that imposter syndrome, thinking that always you could be better. Now, it's not bad to strive to be better at what you're doing, but you don't want to tear yourself down as you're trying to get there. Another common thing we see with people who are in this imposter syndrome is always taking their success or their progress that they've made and attributing it to other factors, whether that's other people, being in the right place at the right time. It's always saying, no, it wasn't me. It was because this mentor helped me get there, or this company offered me this. It's not ever being able to say, I worked really hard for this, and I tried my best on this, and I did a good job on this, and I really knocked it out of the ballpark. You tend to never hear people who have that imposter syndrome make those type of statements about themselves, which is so sad, because all of us are just trying to get through our day. You have to have more self-confidence to push over against these negative affirmations and thoughts that you're giving yourself. Okay, let's talk some about strategies of how can you actually put concrete actions into place to help you as a job seeker deal with this imposter syndrome, because if you don't, it actually undermines your job search. What? It undermines your job search? How can that be? Well, because when people are evaluating you during interviews, they're not just evaluating the skills that are on a piece of paper. They're also looking to see what behaviors are you showing. Are you showing confidence? Are you showing that you're hungry to make changes and do process improvements? They're trying to gauge how confident you are in your skills and in leading a team. If you're showing this imposter syndrome out when you're interviewing, it absolutely can undermine you during an interview and have the company choose somebody else. So what is one of the first things that we need to do in order to combat this imposter syndrome? The first is to acknowledge the feelings. If we just try to push it aside, then we don't get the opportunity and the chance to deal with it. You have to take a minute and do some self-reflection and say, where am I actually doing this imposter syndrome? Where am I criticizing myself? Where am I pulling myself down? And recognize those feelings and what they're actually doing to you, both internally with your own stress and well-being, but also how you're showing externally to others. Okay, so now that you've actually taken a moment and you have thought through and seen, okay, this is an issue for me, how do we start going negatively or positively against that to try and stop that from happening? Well, one of the first things is to go back through and remember what makes you special. And you can't just do this, at least I don't think you can, in your head. I want you to get out a piece of paper and I want you to actually list out some of the best accomplishments that you have made, both personally and professionally. Go through your career and actually take the time to list out sometimes where you knocked something out of the ballpark on a project, you learned a new skill, you helped mentor or manage a team to success. I want you to actually take the time to go out and write them out or type them out if you prefer. And that way we actually get to acknowledge those accomplishments. We're trying to build back up that wall to get rid of that imposter syndrome. Now, in your job search, there are so many times where you feel like you're making no progress. And that also helps to feed into those negative feelings of the imposter syndrome. So how do you go about actually making a change in that? Well, you have to start setting some realistic expectations, ones that you're actually going to hit. And in order to do that, it has to be something that's inside your control. You can't say, if your goal is, I'm going to get a job in 2 weeks, you are setting yourself up for failure. You may get a job in 2 weeks, but you may not, and it may totally not be your fault. You may be in a bad market. You may just be dealing with interviews of companies that are taking longer than they should be in doing the hiring process. There's all kinds of things outside of your control, but there's just as many things that are inside your control. Maybe one of your goals is to touch base with 10 people within your network within a week. Maybe it is to apply to find and apply to a certain number of jobs that you are at least 75% qualified for. Set some realistic expectations of things that you can do. So you're not adding negativity to your job search, but giving yourself some success of saying, yeah, I am at least making progress in what I'm trying to do. So what do we look at next for fighting this imposter syndrome? You want to look or consider learning additional skills. And the reason I bring this one up is because a lot of people say, I feel like an imposter because I don't know this software that well, or I feel like I don't understand this new legislation or this new methodology or way of doing this. Well, that's okay, because you can continue to develop yourself that way. And you don't have to spend a ton of money to do this. YouTube is the most incredible thing for learning new software and new skills and about new changes in industries. You don't have to go to a formalized education program or certification in order to grow in those different areas. Go out and watch some free videos, learn that way, and help build your confidence in those skills or areas where you're feeling like you're really going with that imposter syndrome heavy every day because you feel a little unstable in those skill bases. All right, this next one, I know some of you are going to be saying, I don't know if I want to do this. This feels like it's a little too far for me, but I want you to try it. And that is, I want you to try the power of positive affirmations. So what is a positive affirmation? It is when you are writing a statement that is positive towards something that you are personally or trying to do. And I'll give you a great example that came from a program I did years and years ago. And it was when your kids are losing their glasses all the time. You can go to your kids and say, oh my gosh, you lost your glasses again. What are you doing? Or you can go to that child and say, that's not like you. You are usually so good about keeping up with your glasses. I'm sure we'll be able to find them. And you're affirming that child every time that you talk with them that they are good at keeping up with their glasses. People live up to expectations. People strive to live up to expectations. Set some for yourself. So if you constantly are in your head going, oh, I'm terrible at that opening line of interviews. I'm that first question, I'm so terrible. then I want you to actually write out or type out a positive affirmation. I'd even prefer if you wrote this one out on like an index card or something and posted it somewhere that you see it more than once, or put it on your phone where it comes up on the screensaver. And I want you to give yourself a positive affirmation. Something like, I am confident when I walk into interviews because I know that I am worthy of a great job. Positive affirmations, being our own internal cheerleader, is critical to you being successful. In the same way those negative imposter syndrome feelings are pulling you down, these positive affirmations help to pull you up. So what's the last thing I'm going to recommend to you for those of you who are still struggling with imposter syndrome day in and day out? It is to stay connected with others. I always tell my kids all the time, find your village, find your village. Find those people that are around you, that are there to support you, that are there to be with you. They don't have to necessarily fix everything for you, but they're there to listen. They're there to help when you need them. They're there to cheer you on. They're there to give you a cup of coffee when you just need a minute, and maybe even a hug when you are just having a really down moment. Find those people and stay connected. Stay connected. Be that person for other people. Imposter syndrome is you tearing yourself down, and sometimes you do need that village around you to help you get out of it and move forward positively. You are worthy, job seekers. You're worthy of a great job, a great career, and most importantly, a great life. Keep going. That wonderful job is out there for you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.